Welcome back, everybody. This is Uhfgood, and we are reading about how to import Blender model into Unity. And I'm just going at this tutorial at this one page, and I'm just reading through it. I realize that, but we will be getting to the actual importing here and soon. But I need to look up a few more things just in case, and we'll see how it goes. If you're exporting the whole scene, clicking that button won't make a difference. But okay, to import the Fbx file in the Unity, simply place it in the assets folder and drag it into your scene, just like we described for blend files. The model will show just fine, but the inspector panel will show a file scale of 0.99 whatever, which is almost 1. We can deal with that. If you drag the mesh onto the scene and check the inspector panel, you notice the scale is set to 1. That means we're on the right track. Regarding the horizontal plane coordinates, if you want the X direction to match that of Blender, you have to apply rotation 180 degrees in Y, just like we did for the blend files. Blend versus Fbx, which one wins? This is simply no correct answer to that question, as both options have their pros and cons. That will depend on your own workflow. The important thing is that by following this tutorial, you can now import your Blender assets directly, no matter your choice. Which approach should I take? Perhaps these guidelines can be of help. If you have multiple models in a single Blender file, you can easily export one by one as Fbx files described in the tutorial. If you have a single Blender file per model, it's easy just to move these files into Unity, or even create them inside the assets folder to begin with. Important, after importing a blend file into Unity, if you modify and save that file in Blender, the objects in Unity that use this asset will be updated too. This can help you save time, as you don't have to export again. However, it can also mean you have to be careful if you're making changes in Blender, as you can easily mess up your game objects by some unintentional transforms and location changes. On that sense, exporting Fbx files makes this process manual, so even if you save changes in your Blender file, these won't be propagate into Unity unless you choose to. Importing blend files requires Blender to be installed. Since Blender is a free program, this is not a big deal, but it's good to know. Thanks for reading, and I hope you found this tutorial helpful. Alrighty, so, you have any replies here? Great article. Okay, so, we now know how to import, and actually, I just forgot I was to do something. That's okay, it doesn't matter. Let's see, let's go to blender.org. Let's see. Download support. Documentation. View manual. Okay, this is going to be for 2.79, which supposedly they're going to release the release candidate. I'm not sure if it's the release candidate. Well, it should be the 11th, so really, really close now. But let's switch this to 80, 2.80, and let's do something here. What about exporting? Let's look at advanced, even though I'm not. Okay, that's nothing to do with anything. Files and data system. Let's check that out. Blender file, data blocks, link libraries, importing and exporting files. Okay. May want to utilize files that came from either 2D software, 3D software, preference to the add-ons. Huh. Enable the preferences. Okay. Alembic and Collada. I see. Open Computer Graphics Interchange Framework. Focus on blah blah. Can be used to write an animated mesh to disk and read it back quickly and efficiently. That means the mesh can be animated with a very CPU intensive rig baked to an Alembic file and then loaded into the shot file for shading and lighting with only moderate CPU usage. That sounds cool. Open source nature can be used in a hybrid pipeline. Okay. Exporting Alembic files. Okay. I said next, let's hit Collada. because Collada, I think, it's been implemented as a flexible tool for exporting and importing DAE files. Design goal is to provide a set of parameters which should make it possible to export or import Collada files from a variety of tools. Please be aware that Collada module is still a work in progress, so it may be possible that your particular usage scenario is not yet supported. Okay, so this is not really telling me anything, and I'm not sure. Okay, so let's go to Unity manual. Here. 2019.1, we'll say. That should be at least similar to what I'm using. Let's find with importing models. Model files can contain a variety of data such as character and terrain meshes, animation rigs, and clips, as well as materials and textures. Most likely your file does not contain all of these elements at once, but you can follow any portion of the workflow you need to. This workflow assumes you already have a model file to import. If you don't already have a file already, you can read the guidelines on how to export an Fbx file before exporting it from your 3D modeling software. Okay, so I'll probably need to be looking at that, but accessing import settings, no matter what kind you want to extract, always the same way. Open the project in the inspector, select the model file you want from the asset folder. Import settings comes up. Options that are available for speed tree models versus other models are very different. For example, the speed tree model tab provides options mostly setting up transitions between LOD levels. Okay, so character and animated models provide more diverse options in their model tab. I see. I don't know how that's going to work. I'm probably not going to be importing animation because I'm going to be actually doing 2D animation, so dang it, what? There we go. Setting up options for importing rigs and animation, dealing with materials and textures. Drag the file into Unity. Finally, you can import the file into your scene. If it contains a mesh, drag the file into the scene view to instantiate it as a prefab for a game object. If it contains animation clips, you can drag the file into the animator window and use the state machine or onto an animation track in the timeline window. You can also drag the animation take directly onto a instantiated prefab in the scene view. Automatically creates an animation controller and connects the animation to the model. Okay. Importing humanoid, non-humanoid animations. Model import settings window. Speed tree. Limitations. Let's go limitations for a quick sec. And then exporting from. Okay, so let's go to Blender. ED imports blend files through the Fbx format, supporting the following all nodes with position, rotation, scale, pivot points, and names. Also imported meshes with vertices, polygons, triangles, UVs, and normals, bones, skin meshes, and animations. For information on how to optimize blending your file into Unity, see exporting from other applications. Textures and diffuse color are not assigned automatically. You can manually assign them dragging the texture onto the mesh in the scene view in Unity. Blender does not support the visibility value inside animations in the Fbx file. Okay. Right, so exporting from other applications, which would have been my next thing anyways, provides information about proprietary file formats that use Fbx conversion. However, there are two file formats that do not use Fbx intermediary, SketchUp and SpeedTree. For more information about porting these, see SketchUp and SpeedTree's topics. Unity supports Fbx files, which you can export from many 3D modeling applications. These guidelines help the best results. Some 3D have more specific information under these sections. Select what you want to export inside your 3D modeling application. Prepare what you need to include. Check the Fbx settings before exporting, verify, and import the Fbx file into Unity. When you think about what you want to export, the scene objects are essential, but others may be unnecessary. Applications often let you export selected objects or a whole scene. You can optimize the data in Unity by keeping only the essential objects. If you choose to export only specific objects in your scene, you can export only the selected objects if your application supports it. Remove unwanted data from your scene and export the whole scene. Make a preset. Okay. Let's see. Animation, blend shapes, bake deformers, textures, smoothing. You must extract so embedding just loads your project. Sure your textures are sourced from your Unity project, or copy them into the folder called textures inside your Unity project. Okay. Blah blah. It's a lot of stuff. When I just want to do something kind of semi-simple. So we'll see if we can do something simple. If we can't, then that's alright. More targets. Lightwave. Huh. I am yawning a lot. I was tired this morning too, and I have no idea why. But I think that should be the end of this particular video. I know we didn't get much here either, but we're getting closer now. And maybe in the next one I'll just attempt to export and to import, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.